8 types of people you should not help. Denzel Washington, Stoicism. Don't tell everyone your plans. Show them your results instead. Denzel Washington. Helping others is often seen as one of the purest acts of humanity. It reflects your strength of character, your empathy, and your belief in lifting others up when they need it most. But here's the hard truth. It's not always a good idea to help everyone. Yes, it sounds harsh, doesn't it? But let's be honest. Not everyone you help will appreciate it. Some people won't just take your kindness for granted. They'll use it against you. They'll drain your energy, your resources, and your peace of mind, all without any intention of bettering themselves. This isn't about turning your back on the genuinely needy or struggling. This is about protecting yourself from those who thrive on manipulation, entitlement, or negativity. People who see your generosity as a tool to exploit, rather than a gift to value. Today on Stoic in Your Life, we're uncovering the 8 types of people you should think twice before helping. If you've ever felt like your kindness is being taken advantage of, or that you're being pulled into someone else's chaos, this is the lesson you need to hear. Understanding these patterns can save your time, energy, and mental clarity, so you can focus on the people and causes that truly deserve your support. Stay with me, because recognizing these types isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about learning how to offer help in a way that uplifts both you and others. Let's get into it. Number 1. The perpetual victim. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. Plato. The perpetual victim is someone who thrives on playing the role of the unfortunate soul. As Epictetus said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. This type of person views every misfortune as something inflicted upon them, refusing to see their own role in the events of their life. They are experts at garnering sympathy and pulling others into their endless cycle of problems. At first, you may feel compelled to step in and help. They seem genuinely lost, desperate for guidance. However, you quickly realize that no matter how much support you provide, the victim remains unchanged. They blame others, the world, and circumstances, but never themselves. Modern life offers many examples of perpetual victims, from colleagues who consistently miss deadlines and blame their workload to friends who remain stuck in the same patterns yet ignore advice. Offering help to these individuals often leads to frustration, as they reject solutions in favor of more complaints. True growth can only happen when a person is willing to take responsibility for their life. Instead of enabling their destructive behavior, offer encouragement to those who show a genuine desire to improve. Remember the Stoic principle: focus your energy where it can make the greatest impact. Moving to the second type, the chronic complainer is another person to approach with caution. These individuals are never satisfied. They find fault in every situation, no matter how ideal it might seem. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Chronic complainers refuse to see the good in anything, draining the energy of those around them with their constant negativity. Helping such individuals is not only exhausting but also futile because their dissatisfaction is not rooted in external circumstances. It's a reflection of their internal mindset. In today's fast-paced world, chronic complainers can show up in the workplace, at social gatherings, or even within families. They sap the energy of others, shifting the focus from potential solutions to their endless grievances. To protect yourself, establish boundaries and focus on fostering an environment of positivity. Helping those who are unwilling to see solutions is akin to trying to fill a leaking vessel. It will never hold, no matter how much you pour in. The third type is the entitled individual, and these people are perhaps the most challenging to identify because their entitlement often masquerades as confidence or assertiveness. They walk through life believing the world owes them something, be it your time, energy, or resources. As Seneca noted, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt." Entitled people, however, show no gratitude. They take and take, expecting more without recognizing the effort behind the support they receive. Modern life is rife with entitlement, from colleagues who assume you'll cover for their mistakes, to acquaintances who treat your kindness as their right rather than a gift. Helping the entitled only feeds their sense of superiority, leaving you feeling drained and undervalued. Instead, focus your efforts on people who express appreciation and understand the value of your help. The habitual liar is another category you must be wary of. Liars manipulate the truth to suit their narrative, and helping them often means stepping into a web of deceit. Shakespeare captured this well when he wrote, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive." Habitual liars thrive on creating stories that elicit your sympathy, making it difficult to distinguish truth from fiction. In modern contexts, this could be a friend who constantly borrows money under false pretenses, or a coworker who twists facts to shift blame. Helping such individuals not only wastes your time but also damages your ability to trust others. Instead of engaging with their fabrications, maintain your integrity and focus on relationships grounded in honesty. The opportunist is perhaps one of the most dangerous individuals to assist. As Stoicism teaches, do not act as if you are going to live 10,000 years. Urgency is key. Opportunists prey on the goodwill of others, presenting themselves as collaborators while secretly pursuing their own self-interest. They charm their way into your life, promising mutual benefits, only to disappear once they've taken what they need. You might encounter opportunists in professional settings, where they leverage your skills or connections, or in personal relationships, where they use your kindness without any intention of reciprocating. Protect yourself by being discerning. Genuine connections are built on trust and mutual respect, not exploitation. Drama seekers are another group to avoid. As Seneca aptly said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. These individuals thrive on chaos, creating problems where none exist to draw attention to themselves. They are emotionally draining and perpetuate cycles of conflict that benefit no one. Engaging with drama seekers pulls you into their storms, leaving you mentally and emotionally exhausted. Modern life is full of distractions, and drama seekers only add to the noise. Focus on cultivating peace and stability in your life by distancing yourself from those who thrive on conflict. The taker is a familiar archetype in today's world. These individuals are endlessly needy, taking everything they can without ever giving back. As the Stoic principle goes, what is not useful to the hive is not useful to the bee. Takers drain your resources, leaving you with nothing in return. They appear in personal and professional settings, always asking for favors but disappearing when you need support. Protect yourself by prioritizing balanced relationships where giving and receiving are mutual. Finally, the manipulator is a master of emotional exploitation. As the Bible warns, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. Manipulators guilt you into helping them, twisting your kindness into a weapon. They make you feel responsible for their happiness, success, or well-being, even when it's clear they are taking advantage of you. Helping them only reinforces their toxic behavior, leaving you feeling used and resentful. In today's interconnected world, manipulators can easily exploit your goodwill, so it's crucial to set firm boundaries and protect your peace. Helping others is an act of kindness, but wisdom lies in discerning who truly deserves your support. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have to assemble your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible. Direct your efforts toward those who value and respect your help, and let go of the ones who drain your spirit. By doing so, you'll not only preserve your energy, but also cultivate relationships that enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Number 2. The chronic complainer. Let's talk about the chronic complainer, the person who always seems to find a problem in every solution and a downside in every silver lining. You know the type. They're never satisfied, no matter what you do or say, and their default mode of communication is negativity. They can drain the energy out of a room faster than anything else. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Chronic complainers are the embodiment of what happens when someone relinquishes that power and fixates solely on the negatives of life. Have you ever met someone who, even when you bend over backward to help them, responds with complaints instead of gratitude? You give them your time, your effort, and maybe even a few solutions, yet they turn around and point out what's wrong, or why your efforts aren't enough. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. No matter how much you pour in, it all leaks out, leaving you drained and frustrated. In today's fast-paced and interconnected world, we all encounter chronic complainers. They might show up as a coworker who criticizes every workplace decision without offering solutions, or as a friend who constantly vents about their problems but never takes any advice to improve their situation. At first, you might feel compelled to listen and support them, because that's what compassionate people do, right? But here's the catch. Chronic complainers aren't looking for solutions. They thrive on being heard, not helped. Their complaints become a form of identity, a way to gain attention, sympathy, and validation from others. In one example, I knew someone who was constantly unhappy with their job. Every conversation revolved around how unfair their boss was, how terrible the workload was, and how they felt stuck. When I suggested steps to update their resume, network, or even consider a career change, their response was always the same. "It's not that simple," or "You don't understand how hard it is." Over time, it became clear they weren't interested in changing their circumstances. They were comfortable in their cycle of dissatisfaction. So, what should you do when faced with chronic complainers in your life? First, ask yourself this. Are they genuinely open to advice, or are they just venting to feel heard? If it's the latter, you need to set boundaries for your own mental and emotional health. Engaging too deeply with their negativity can pull you down into the same spiral, making you question your efforts and even your perspective on life. Instead, redirect the conversation when possible, and focus on solutions only when they show a genuine interest in improving their situation. Ask them open-ended questions like, "What steps do you think you could take to change this?" Or, "How can I support you in finding a way forward?" These questions can help you gauge their willingness to shift their mindset. If they brush these off or continue to spiral into complaints, it's a sign that your energy is better spent elsewhere. From a Stoic perspective, as Seneca advised, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor." Chronic complainers crave validation for their grievances, not solutions. Understanding this allows you to protect your own peace while still maintaining empathy. Remember, you can be kind without being consumed by someone else's negativity. Modern life is full of challenges that can weigh us down, and it's important to focus your energy on those who are willing to grow and improve. At the end of the day, helping a chronic complainer doesn't just waste your time, it enables their unwillingness to change. The lesson here is simple but profound. Be discerning about where and how you invest your support. Direct your energy toward people and situations that uplift you and others. Life is too short to spend it trying to help those who refuse to help themselves. So, the next time you encounter a chronic complainer, ask yourself, am I helping them, or am I enabling their complaints? Choose wisely, and your efforts will always bring value to those who truly deserve it. Number 3, the entitled. The entitled are some of the most exhausting individuals you'll encounter, and they present a unique challenge when it comes to offering help. These are the people who don't see assistance as a gift or a favor. It's simply something they believe they're owed. As Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Entitled people crave not just more, but everything, often without lifting a finger to earn it or even acknowledging the effort it takes from others. Have you ever dealt with someone who assumed your time, energy, or resources were theirs for the taking, without so much as a thank you? It's frustrating, isn't it? They demand your help as if it's their birthright, leaving you drained, frustrated, and questioning why you bothered in the first place. But here's the thing. You are not responsible for meeting the endless demands of someone who refuses to appreciate or respect what you offer. In modern life, entitlement can rear its head in many forms, whether it's a colleague who assumes you'll cover their work without asking, a family member who always expects you to bail them out financially, or even a friend who treats your generosity as an obligation rather than a kindness. These people often mask their entitlement with excuses or emotional manipulation, making it hard to draw boundaries without feeling guilty. But let me ask you this. How many times have you said yes to their demands only to realize it was never enough? The entitled are like a bottomless pit. No matter how much you give, they'll always want more. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Recognizing the behavior of the entitled and reclaiming your power is essential to preserving your peace and well-being. Think about this. How often do the entitled express gratitude? Probably never. Instead of acknowledging the sacrifices you make, they act as though they're doing you a favor by letting you help them. It's a toxic dynamic that can erode your self-esteem and leave you feeling used. For example, consider a coworker who expects you to step in and fix their mistakes because, in their eyes, you're just better at it. They won't recognize the effort or time you've spent. They'll simply move on to the next demand. Or maybe it's a friend who constantly borrows money with the promise to pay you back, but never does. Each time you confront them, they make you feel guilty, as if your expectation of repayment is unreasonable. Does this sound familiar? If so, it's time to reassess where you're investing your energy. The problem with helping the entitled is that it doesn't teach them anything valuable. Instead of learning humility, gratitude, or the importance of effort, they become more entrenched in their belief that the world owes them something. When you give in to their demands, you're not helping them grow. You're reinforcing their toxic mindset. As Epictetus wisely said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." The entitled have endless wants, and no matter how much you try to satisfy them, they'll never be content. So, what's the solution? How do you help without being exploited? The answer lies in setting firm boundaries and knowing when to say no. Remember, your kindness should not come at the expense of your peace, your time, or your dignity. One effective way to handle entitled individuals is to shift the responsibility back onto them. Instead of immediately jumping in to solve their problems, ask them, "What can you do to address this?" This not only forces them to think about their role in their situation, but also sends a subtle message that your assistance is not automatic. If they're unwilling to put in the effort, it's a clear sign that your help would only enable their entitlement. For instance, if a friend repeatedly asks for financial support without making any changes to their lifestyle, you might say, "I can't lend you money this time, but I'm happy to help you create a budget." This approach maintains your empathy while protecting your boundaries. The truth is, helping the entitled often leads to a vicious cycle where your generosity becomes their expectation and their entitlement becomes your burden. To break this cycle, you must recognize your own value and prioritize relationships that are reciprocal and respectful. As Stoic philosophy teaches, life is too short to waste on those who do not appreciate or respect your efforts. Instead, focus on people who understand that help is a gift, not a guarantee. When you surround yourself with individuals who value your kindness, you'll find that your energy is not only preserved but multiplied. Here's a question for you. Are you helping someone grow, or are you just fueling their entitlement? It's an important distinction, and one that requires honest reflection. By learning to say no when necessary and reserving your energy for those who truly need and value your support, you can create healthier dynamics in both your personal and professional life. At the end of the day, helping others is about empowerment, not obligation. Let your actions inspire gratitude, growth, and mutual respect. And remember, your time and energy are precious. Spend them wisely, and you'll not only protect your own peace, but also contribute to a world where help is both given and received with genuine appreciation. Thank you for being part of today's video. Your presence here means so much, and I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude. Whether you've just discovered our channel or have been part of this journey for a while, your support and engagement make all the difference. I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments, whether it's a personal story, an insight, or simply letting us know where you're at. If you're new, feel free to comment, "I am a newbie." And if you've been with us for some time, proudly say, "I am Stoic." Your participation fuels our motivation to keep creating meaningful content for this incredible community. Now, let's continue this journey of growth and wisdom together, shall we? Number 4. The Habitual Liar. Let's discuss the habitual liar, a person who manipulates the truth so frequently and skillfully that they blur the line between reality and falsehood. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Habitual liars live in a world they've painted with their own falsehoods, and their actions often pull others into their web of deception. These individuals rely on lies not just to avoid accountability, but to manipulate others into doing what they want, whether it's gaining sympathy, avoiding responsibility, or securing resources. Have you ever encountered someone who tells such compelling stories that you can't help but feel moved to help them, only to discover later that their words were far from the truth? The betrayal stings, and you're left questioning your own judgment. The habitual liar thrives on this dynamic, knowing that a well-timed lie can manipulate even the most discerning individuals. In modern life, habitual liars are everywhere. They could be co-workers who exaggerate their contributions to avoid scrutiny, friends who distort events to make themselves look better, or even family members who hide their mistakes behind a facade of half-truths. These individuals often present themselves as victims of circumstances, weaving elaborate tales that tug at your heartstrings and compel you to step in and offer help. The problem is, the help they seek is built on a foundation of deceit, and any support you provide only reinforces their behavior. Consider this. When you help someone who consistently lies, you're not just wasting your time and energy. You're enabling a pattern that damages both them and you. As Epictetus wisely said, "We are disturbed not by things, but by the view we take of them." The habitual liar distorts your view of reality, and unless you learn to recognize their tactics, you risk becoming entangled in their dishonesty. Let me ask you this. How often have you felt drained or disillusioned after helping someone, only to realize their story didn't add up? The habitual liar doesn't just waste your resources, they erode your trust in others and make you question your ability to discern truth from fiction. This erosion of trust can bleed into other areas of your life, making it harder to build genuine connections. For example, you might hesitate to help someone in genuine need because of the scars left by past experiences with a liar. This is why it's so critical to recognize the patterns of habitual lying and set boundaries to protect yourself. A person who lies habitually will rarely admit to it, and confronting them can often lead to even more deception. Instead of engaging in their web, focus on maintaining your integrity and refusing to participate in their manipulative games. In dealing with habitual liars, it's important to remember the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within your control. You can't change someone else's behavior, but you can control your response to it. When someone's words don't align with their actions, or when their stories feel too convenient to be true, take a step back and assess the situation. Are you being asked to help in a way that feels one-sided or exploitative? Are their requests rooted in a consistent pattern of dishonesty? If the answer is yes, it's time to draw the line. Helping a liar, especially one who makes lying a lifestyle, doesn't just harm you, it enables their destructive behavior and prevents them from facing the consequences of their actions. As Seneca advised, a dishonest act is its own punishment. Letting habitual liars deal with the consequences of their lies is often the only way they'll learn. Think about the damage that habitual lying causes in relationships, workplaces, and families. In a professional setting, a habitual liar might create a toxic environment, undermining trust and collaboration. In personal relationships, they can erode bonds by consistently prioritizing their fabricated narratives over genuine connection. You may feel obligated to help them out of loyalty or compassion, but ask yourself, is your assistance truly helping them grow, or is it enabling them to continue lying? The answer is often the latter, and recognizing this can save you from unnecessary pain and frustration. By holding habitual liars accountable and refusing to support their behavior, you create space for healthier relationships and more meaningful interactions in your life. So, how do you protect yourself from habitual liars while maintaining your own integrity? First, practice discernment. As the saying goes, trust, but verify. If someone's words don't match their actions, take note and proceed with caution. Second, set firm boundaries. When you sense manipulation, don't be afraid to say no or to question the narrative being presented. Third, surround yourself with people who value honesty and authenticity. The more you prioritize these qualities in your relationships, the less likely you'll be drawn into the orbit of habitual liars. Finally, remember that walking away from a liar isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and self-respect. You owe it to yourself to invest your time and energy in people who are truthful and genuine. Helping others is a noble act, but it should never come at the expense of your own peace and integrity. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply this wisdom to your interactions with habitual liars, and you'll find that protecting your truth is far more valuable than enabling their falsehoods. By choosing to walk away from deceit and focus your efforts on those who are honest and deserving, you not only protect yourself but also set a powerful example of integrity for others to follow. So, the next time you encounter a habitual liar seeking your help, ask yourself, is this truly an opportunity to make a difference, or am I simply feeding into a cycle of dishonesty? The answer will guide you toward the right path and ensure that your kindness is reserved for those who truly value it. Number 5. The Opportunist. The opportunist is one of the most cunning and dangerous types of people you might encounter, and understanding how to deal with them is crucial if you want to protect your energy and resources. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Opportunists, however, are far from this ideal. They aren't interested in building something meaningful or reciprocal. They are only focused on what they can take from you. These individuals are masters of charm and persuasion, often presenting themselves as collaborators or allies. They'll convince you that helping them is mutually beneficial, that you're part of something bigger, but as soon as they've gained what they need, whether it's your trust, resources, or connections, they vanish, leaving you wondering how you got played. Have you ever felt like someone only reached out to you when they needed something? That's the telltale sign of an opportunist. Opportunists thrive in modern life, where networking and collaboration are essential in both personal and professional relationships. For example, you might meet someone at work who flatters you, seeks your advice, and involves you in projects, only to later take full credit for your contributions. Or maybe it's a friend who constantly borrows money, promising to repay you, but never does. They appear when they need something and disappear when you could use their help. A classic story of an opportunist is the person who befriends you because of your connections or influence. They'll act as though they value you deeply, but their ultimate goal is to use you as a stepping stone. They make you feel special, as if you're part of their grand plan, but their loyalty is hollow. Once their objective is achieved, they'll move on to the next person who can serve their needs. Does this sound familiar? If it does, it's time to take a step back and reevaluate the relationship. What makes the opportunist so dangerous is their ability to blend into your life seamlessly, making you believe they're invested in a shared vision. They might present their requests as if they're doing you a favor, subtly flipping the dynamic so that you feel indebted to them. This manipulation is incredibly effective, especially for people who are naturally generous or empathetic. As Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Recognizing the opportunist and deciding how to respond is entirely within your control, but it requires vigilance and discernment. Have you ever found yourself questioning why you agreed to help someone who never reciprocates? That's the power of an opportunist. They make you doubt your instincts and prioritize their needs over your own. So, how do you protect yourself from these individuals? First, pay attention to patterns. Does this person consistently show up only when they need something? Do they fail to express genuine interest in your life or goals? If the answer is yes, you might be dealing with an opportunist. Second, set clear boundaries. Opportunists thrive on blurred lines and unclear expectations, so it's essential to be direct about what you're willing and not willing to do. For example, if a colleague frequently asks you to cover for them but never returns the favor, don't hesitate to say, "I can't take this on right now." Third, assess the balance of the relationship. True partnerships are built on mutual respect and reciprocity, not one-sided transactions. If you find yourself giving far more than you're receiving, it's time to reevaluate whether this connection is worth your energy. Let's consider a real-life scenario to illustrate this. Picture someone who always comes to you with exciting opportunities, whether it's a new business venture, a creative project, or a social event. They make it sound like your involvement is crucial, even flattering you to gain your cooperation. But when the time comes to deliver on their promises or share the benefits, they're nowhere to be found. A friend of mine once got involved in a group project where one person promised big rewards for everyone involved. This opportunist delegated most of the work to the team, then took full credit for the outcome, leaving the others feeling exploited. The lesson here is clear. Don't get swept up in someone else's vision without ensuring your role is respected and valued. Opportunists aren't inherently evil. They're simply self-centered and focused on their own gain. However, this mindset makes them poor candidates for meaningful collaboration or genuine friendship. Helping an opportunist often enables their behavior, reinforcing their belief that they can use others without consequence. As Seneca advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Surrounding yourself with those who value and respect you is far more rewarding than expanding your energy on someone who sees you as a means to. As Seneca advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Surrounding yourself with those who value and respect you is far more rewarding than expanding your energy on someone who sees you as a means to an end. Ask yourself, are you helping someone grow, or are you simply fueling their ambitions at your expense? This question can clarify your priorities and guide your actions. Protecting yourself from opportunists doesn't mean shutting yourself off from helping others. It means being wise about where you invest your time, energy, and resources. Recognize that not everyone who asks for your help has your best interests at heart. By setting boundaries, observing patterns, and prioritizing reciprocal relationships, you can ensure that your kindness uplifts both you and those around you. Helping others is a beautiful thing, but it should never come at the cost of your own peace or self-worth. Remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Focus on what you can control and let go of what doesn't serve your growth. So the next time someone seeks your help, ask yourself, are they genuinely invested in building something meaningful with you? Or are they just another opportunist looking for a stepping stone? The answer will guide you to make decisions that protect your well-being while fostering the connections that truly matter. Number 6. The Drama Seeker. Drama seekers are some of the most exhausting people you can encounter, and understanding how to handle them is crucial for maintaining your own peace of mind. These are the individuals who seem to create chaos wherever they go, thriving on conflict, controversy, and emotional upheaval. As Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And drama seekers embody this principle to the fullest extent. They aren't satisfied with calm or stability. They crave attention and feed off the energy of those around them, by pulling them into their whirlwind of problems. Have you ever felt like someone in your life can't go a week without a crisis? Whether it's personal, professional, or completely fabricated, these individuals constantly stir the pot, not because they want solutions, but because they need the adrenaline and attention that comes with chaos. The question is, how do you deal with someone who lives for drama without getting caught in their storm? Drama seekers can appear in every facet of life. A co-worker who thrives on office gossip, a friend who always has some scandal to share, or a family member who can't seem to get along with anyone. They position themselves at the center of every conflict, often portraying themselves as the victim or the hero, but never taking responsibility for their role in the chaos. They'll call you at all hours to vent about their latest problem, expecting you to drop everything to listen. But the moment you suggest a solution, they'll find a reason why it won't work. This is because drama seekers don't want solutions. They want sympathy, validation, and an audience for their theatrics. Have you ever noticed how they escalate situations that could have been resolved quietly? It's not a coincidence. They thrive on keeping the flames of conflict burning because it gives them a sense of importance. What makes drama seekers particularly challenging is their ability to draw you in. At first, you might feel compelled to help because their stories are so convincing and their emotions so intense. But as time goes on, you start to notice a pattern, the same types of issues, the same inability to resolve them, and the same cycle of emotional turmoil. Helping a drama seeker often feels like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The more you engage, the bigger the fire grows. Why? Because your involvement gives them the attention they crave and reinforces their belief that drama is the best way to get it. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The drama seeker's reaction to every minor inconvenience is to turn it into a catastrophe, and if you're not careful, you'll find yourself dragged into their cycle of chaos. Let me ask you this. How many times have you walked away from an interaction with a drama seeker feeling drained, frustrated, or even angry? That's because their constant need for attention and emotional validation takes a toll on the people around them. They pull you into their problems, making you feel responsible for their happiness. But no matter how much you do for them, it's never enough. They'll move on to the next crisis, leaving you wondering why you even bothered to help in the first place. For example, I once knew someone who always seemed to have a new feud with a friend, a co-worker, or even a family member. Every week it was a new story of betrayal, a new villain to blame, and a new emotional outburst. When I tried to offer advice or mediate the situation, it became clear that they weren't interested in resolution. They wanted to keep the drama alive because it gave them something to talk about, something to focus on, and most importantly, something to make them feel significant. So, how do you protect yourself from drama seekers while maintaining your empathy? The key is setting firm boundaries. First, recognize that you cannot fix someone who doesn't want to change. Drama seekers often resist solutions because solving their problems would mean losing the attention and excitement they derive from their conflicts. Instead of trying to fix their issues, focus on protecting your own emotional well-being. Politely but firmly decline to engage in their drama. For example, if a drama seeker tries to pull you into a gossip session or vent about a recurring issue, you can say, "I understand this is important to you, but I don't think I can offer anything helpful right now." This sets a clear boundary while acknowledging their feelings. Second, practice emotional detachment. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Remind yourself that their chaos is not your responsibility. You are not obligated to take on their emotional burdens, especially when doing so compromises your own peace of mind. Focus on relationships that are balanced and mutually supportive, where your energy is valued and reciprocated. Third, encourage accountability. If a drama seeker repeatedly brings the same issues to you, gently ask them what steps they've taken to address the problem. This shifts the focus from venting to taking action and helps you determine whether they're genuinely seeking help or simply looking for attention. Helping others is about empowering them to grow, not enabling their destructive patterns. As Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Surround yourself with individuals who value peace, growth, and genuine connection, and distance yourself from those who thrive on chaos. Drama seekers will always find an audience, but it doesn't have to be you. By setting boundaries, practicing emotional detachment, and encouraging accountability, you can protect your own peace while guiding them toward healthier behavior. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their whirlwind of drama, ask yourself, am I helping them find clarity, or am I just feeding into their chaos? The answer will help you make choices that preserve your energy, protect your peace, and foster more meaningful connections in your life. If you've made it this far, you're truly committed to mastering the art of discernment. Drop a comment saying, "I choose wisely," to show you're ready to apply these Stoic principles in your life. Stick around because the journey to wisdom and strength has only just begun. Number 7. The Taker. The taker is one of the most draining and manipulative types of people you'll encounter in life, and knowing how to recognize and handle them is essential if you want to protect your energy and maintain your peace. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and takers operate with a mindset of entitlement, focusing solely on what they can get from others without ever considering giving back. These individuals are experts at identifying those with kind hearts and generous spirits, and they exploit that kindness for their own benefit. Have you ever felt like someone in your life only reaches out to you when they need something? Perhaps it's a coworker who conveniently asks for help when a deadline looms but disappears when you need support. Or maybe it's a friend who calls you for favors but is nowhere to be found when you could use a hand. Takers live by one rule: take as much as possible and give as little as necessary, leaving those around them feeling used and undervalued. In modern life, takers appear in many forms. They might be the colleague who expects you to pick up their slack at work, claiming they're overwhelmed while they relax during the extra time your effort affords them. Or it could be a family member who constantly borrows money but never pays it back, always armed with a heartfelt excuse. Takers thrive on your sense of duty and generosity, knowing you'll feel too guilty to say no. But here's the harsh truth: helping a taker rarely leads to mutual respect or gratitude. Instead, it reinforces their belief that they're entitled to your time, energy, and resources. As Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." But takers are never satisfied. Their demands grow with every favor granted, leaving you emotionally and physically drained. What makes takers particularly dangerous is their ability to disguise their intentions. They often present themselves as friendly, charismatic, and even vulnerable, which makes you feel good about helping them. However, their true nature becomes evident over time as they consistently take without ever reciprocating. Let me ask you this: how many times have you helped someone only to feel unappreciated afterward? Perhaps you thought, they'll return the favor next time, but that time never comes. Takers operate with a transactional mindset, viewing relationships as opportunities to benefit themselves. They often rationalize their behavior, believing they deserve your help because of their struggles, charm, or proximity to you. This can make it difficult to confront their behavior because they may genuinely believe they've done nothing wrong. To protect yourself from takers, you need to develop discernment and set firm boundaries. First, take a moment to evaluate your relationships. Are there people in your life who only reach out when they need something? Do they fail to show gratitude or reciprocate your efforts? If so, it's likely you're dealing with a taker. Second, learn to say no without guilt. Takers rely on your inability to refuse their requests, so reclaiming your right to prioritize your own needs is crucial. As Seneca wisely noted, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Surrounding yourself with people who value reciprocity and mutual support will help you avoid the toxic dynamics that takers bring into your life. When you encounter a taker's demands, ask yourself, Is this request fair, and will it lead to a balanced exchange of energy? If the answer is no, don't be afraid to politely decline. For example, imagine a friend who consistently borrows money but never repays it, always promising to do so next time. Instead of continuing to lend them money, you might say, "I've helped you in the past, but I need to focus on my own finances right now." This approach is firm yet respectful, allowing you to set boundaries without creating unnecessary conflict. Similarly, if a coworker frequently asks for help with their tasks but never offers to assist you in return, consider responding with, "I'd love to help, but I'm currently managing my own workload." By drawing these lines, you're not only protecting yourself, but also signaling to the taker that their behavior is unacceptable. The key to handling takers lies in understanding the difference between helping and enabling. Helping someone means offering support that empowers them to grow and become self-sufficient. Enabling, on the other hand, involves allowing someone to rely on you without making any effort to improve their situation. Takers thrive on enablers because it allows them to avoid accountability for their actions. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Recognizing when you're enabling a taker is the first step toward regaining control over your energy and resources. Helping others is a beautiful thing, but it should never come at the expense of your own well-being. Life is about balance, and your time and energy are finite resources that should be spent wisely. Ask yourself, are the people you're helping genuinely appreciative and willing to reciprocate, or are they simply taking advantage of your kindness? By choosing to invest in relationships that are built on mutual respect and support, you'll find that your efforts have a greater impact and leave you feeling fulfilled rather than depleted. The lesson here is simple. Help those who value and respect your contributions, and don't hesitate to step away from those who only take without giving back. Your kindness is a gift, not an obligation, and protecting it is essential for living a life of purpose and balance. So, the next time a taker comes to you with a request, ask yourself, is this person genuinely in need, or are they simply looking for another opportunity to take? Your answer will guide you toward the right decision, ensuring your generosity is spent on those who truly deserve it. Number 8. The Manipulator. The manipulator is one of the most subtle yet destructive types of people you can encounter, and understanding how to identify and deal with them is critical for safeguarding your peace of mind and self-worth. Manipulators don't simply ask for help. They orchestrate situations to make you feel obligated to give it. They use guilt, charm, and emotional appeals to twist your kindness into a tool for their gain. As Epictetus wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And manipulators aim to make you anything but free. Their goal is control, and they achieve it by making you believe that helping them is not just a choice, but a responsibility. Have you ever felt like someone's problems were suddenly your own, as if saying no would make you the bad person in the story they're spinning? That's the hallmark of a manipulator, and their tactics can leave you feeling used, resentful, and emotionally drained. In today's fast-paced world, manipulators thrive in both personal and professional relationships. Perhaps it's a colleague who constantly offloads their work onto you, framing it as a team effort while taking credit for the results. Or maybe it's a friend who always needs a favor but guilts you into compliance by saying things like, "I thought you'd have my back." Manipulators excel at identifying your vulnerabilities, whether it's your empathy, your desire to be seen as helpful, or your fear of confrontation. They exploit these traits to their advantage, ensuring you feel cornered into saying yes, even when your instincts tell you otherwise. Let me ask you this. How many times have you agreed to something that didn't sit well with you, simply because the other person made you feel guilty or responsible? Manipulators count on this hesitation, and they use it to their full advantage. What makes manipulators particularly dangerous is their ability to mask their intentions. They often appear charming, vulnerable, or even needy, which makes it hard to see their actions for what they truly are. For example, you might have a friend who frequently borrows money, always with a convincing story about why they'll pay you back soon, only for them to disappear until the next request. Or perhaps a family member constantly leans on you for emotional support, but dismisses your own struggles as trivial. These scenarios create a dynamic where the manipulator's needs always take precedence, leaving you feeling unimportant and unappreciated. As Seneca wisely noted, associate with people who are likely to improve you. And manipulators are the antithesis of this principle. They drain your energy and resources, while giving nothing of value in return. The first step in dealing with manipulators is recognizing their tactics. Manipulators are masters of guilt, often framing their requests in a way that makes you feel like you're the only one who can help. They might say things like, "I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important," or, "You're the only person I can count on," creating a false sense of urgency and responsibility. They also excel at shifting blame, making you feel selfish or unkind for setting boundaries. For example, if you refuse to lend them money, they might respond with, "I thought you cared about me," turning your reasonable boundary into a perceived betrayal. Have you ever felt like saying no to someone meant risking the relationship? That's the manipulator's trap, and it's designed to keep you compliant. To protect yourself from manipulators, you need to establish clear boundaries and stick to them. As Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Remember that you are not responsible for fixing someone else's problems, especially when those problems are a result of their own choices. For instance, if a manipulator repeatedly asks for help with something they could easily handle themselves, politely decline and encourage them to take responsibility. You might say, "I know you're capable of handling this on your own, and I think it's important for you to try." This approach maintains your empathy while refusing to play into their manipulative tactics. Another effective strategy is to question the manipulator's motives. When they make a request, ask yourself, does this benefit both of us or just them? Is this a one-time favor, or has it become a recurring pattern? By evaluating the situation objectively, you can determine whether your assistance is truly warranted or if you're being used. For example, if a coworker frequently asks for your help on tasks they're fully capable of completing, it's likely they're taking advantage of your willingness to assist. In such cases, it's perfectly reasonable to redirect the responsibility back to them, saying, "I'm confident you can handle this, and I have my own deadlines to meet." Manipulators often thrive on ambiguity, so clarity is your best defense. Clearly communicate your limits and expectations, and don't be afraid to enforce them. If a manipulator pushes back, remember that their reaction is not your responsibility. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Their frustration or disappointment is a reflection of their unmet expectations, not your failure to help. By staying firm in your boundaries, you protect your time, energy, and peace of mind. Helping others is a noble act, but it must come from a place of genuine intention, not obligation or manipulation. Manipulators rely on your good nature to exploit you, but recognizing their tactics and setting boundaries allows you to reclaim your power. Surround yourself with people who respect and value your contributions, and remember that saying no is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-respect. Ask yourself, are you helping someone grow, or are you enabling their behavior at your own expense? By choosing to invest your time and energy in relationships that are built on mutual respect and honesty, you'll find that your efforts bring far greater rewards. So the next time someone tries to guilt or pressure you into helping, take a step back and ask, is this truly for their benefit, or are they just trying to control me? Your answer will guide you toward the right decision, ensuring that your kindness is directed where it truly belongs. As we wrap up, let's reflect on this powerful lesson. Helping others is one of the most meaningful acts we can perform, but it must come with discernment. True generosity empowers, uplifts, and inspires growth, but misplaced kindness can drain your energy, disrupt your peace, and enable behaviors that harm both you and the recipient. Remember the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Focus your efforts on what you can control and direct your energy where it will make the most difference. Life is too short to spend it trying to fix people who are unwilling to change or appreciate your help. Ask yourself this: are the people you're helping genuinely striving to grow, or are they taking your kindness for granted? By choosing wisely who you give your time, energy, and resources to, you protect your own well-being while ensuring your efforts truly matter. At Stoic in Your Life, our goal is to guide you toward becoming stronger, wiser, and happier individuals by applying these timeless principles to modern challenges. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you the most from this discussion? Have you encountered people in your life who fit these descriptions, and how did you handle those situations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and help each other grow. And if you found value in today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into living with purpose and resilience. Thank you for watching, and until next time, protect your peace, live with intention, and remember, true strength comes from knowing when to say yes and when to walk away.